What's up? It's your girl, Micca, the Badass Unicorn.
And it's your girl, Just Right Jules.
And you're now watching the Red Cup Podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Red Cup Podcast. Julesy, what's going on?
What's up, Micca?
Yeah, I'm already fired up today.
I know you are. I know you already come. I know you ready
I'm
to come.
already fired up today.
Why are you mad?
Child, I'm mad for a host of reasons. Tell them why you're mad. So I'm mad because it is Memorial Day weekend and I got to be here, there, and everywhere. I haven't gotten no sleep this week because I was down in Houston doing a interview for our interviews for the Red Cup Podcast. Y'all going to like this person. But yeah, so I was doing that. So I didn't get no sleep there. Okay. And I got back here and I had to do my streaming that I do with Anton Daniels. So no sleep.
And you
and I had a hosted event in DC. Then I had a hosted event Thursday in DC, which was to like 1, 2 in the morning.
Y'all look like y'all had fun too.
It was so much fun. We were drunk and this and that. But this was the first time I heard about infused food.
Oh yes. I know about it.
So I guess I said no, thank goodness, but I didn't realize I was saying no to infused food. So that was good for me because I've never smoked.
Okay.
I've never did edibles. I've never done anything with weed, THC, whatever that is.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was glad I said no because everybody thought I was eating the infused weed. It was like, oh my God, no. And I was like, what's the infused? She was like, oh no, this is not the infused one. So I was happy about that.
You would have been in rare form.
That's what everybody said.
I was about to say, you already kind of lit.
That's what everybody said.
So that would have been like, woo.
Yeah, I would have been doing that thing. What's that thing my man Terry Crews be doing?
Oh, that little thing?
On White Girls when he was all like high on something. He had the little streamers and he was, that would have been.
Oh, yeah.
That's me anyway. So.
I was about to say, you already kind of like got like a natural high. Yeah. So actually being.
Yeah.
I would have enjoyed it. Personally, I would have enjoyed it, you know.
I didn't try it, but maybe one day, but it has to be like under a watchful eye. I don't know.
You was working.
I'm open.
It was working too, so you didn't need no business with none of that.
I'm open, but
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that night. But that's been pretty much my weekend. I was busy. What's up with you?
I wish I could have came, but I went to go see Tank, and Tank shut that thing down at the MGM.
Oh, that crazy concert they just threw in, what was it, Carrie Hilson,
Carl Thomas, and it was a new up and coming singer from the area, Elise. And she's 21.
Oh yeah, I know her.
She's like bomb.
Okay.
She's bomb. So I was like really like taken back because her voice is so strong. And then Tank,
oh Lord.
Tank gonna make it to do what it do, baby. You know, Tank took that shirt off.
That's why you told me to my hair like this.
It was like, ooh, you know, it was a moment. Yeah. It was a vibe. It was good. It was good. Great seats. We was in a suite. Drinks all night. Me and the husband was like, we was bent. We woke up the next morning hungover.
But see, if I had knew you were going, I probably would have went. Like, just it's not my generation per se. So I was like, I don't really want to go. But even if something is not my generation, like I took my mom to see Keith Sweat and Joe and all that because my mom is a 50-year-old groupie for that. She loves them.
Yeah.
And my cousin was singing on the Keith Sweat tour.
Okay.
Maya Milan. But yeah, so she was singing on it, so I got to do a 2-for-1. I got to go see my cousin, and I got to take my mom to see them, and my mom got to go backstage and
had experience.
Yeah, and you know,
fangirl.
Yeah, fangirl. I said, girl, you 50. You cannot be this way at 50.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, my thing is, you know, and as we talk about concerts, you know, because you know that our next topic is concerts. Yeah, Tank can get my money again. I mean, me and my husband, we go to a lot of concerts. So
yeah.
Out of my favorites was Babyface, surprisingly. Babyface has a catalog.
So good. I got invited to just like a special congressional viewing of music because like I'm really plugged into the music scene.
Right.
And it was just maybe 60 people. and you got to listen to Babyface, and Babyface just talk and everything, and it like he did everything acoustic and live, and it was so good. It was down at the American National Museum in DC, so it was just a nice chill night. But
Babyface
he's
a vibe.
awesome.
He's a vibe.
He's done everything from like old school to even a lot of the new
stuff.
You know, Lady Gaga, Lil Wayne.
Right.
So it was a nice vibe. So yeah, now that I would have gone to see, even though like most of his stuff isn't in my generation, I know it from my mom. So,
but one thing I will say is like I would have rather him brought out like I want to see Babyface and Friends. Let's put that out there. Babyface and Friends. I want to see him with the people that he's produced. Like I want to see Babyface with Tony Braxton and Boyz II Men and Tevin Campbell, for goodness sakes. I want to see that. I want that concert because I feel like when he was doing the show, he was just doing a medley of all the music that he wrote. You're like, damn, Babyface did this?
Yeah.
And then he's up here playing it with the, like you said, with the acoustic version. You're like, oh my gosh, this is a vibe. And at that moment, you know, it's other people at that time that you want to support. Some being our topic.
Babyface is like a chill. I will say this before we get into the topic. Babyface is like a chill prince, because that night I went to go see him, he was telling about who he had a song for, and then he listened to them sing, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna give it to such and such because that ain't gonna work. But he's so chill with it. Prince would just be like, you can't sing. So, you know.
Prince was shady. Prince is shady.
My mic is on. I love it. But yeah, I would go see him. So it sounded like you had fun.
I enjoyed myself. I'm ready for the next concert now. But we won't be supporting. I won't be supporting.
You starting already?
I'm starting already because Micca,
let me get my drink.
She already has set this whole tone that she gonna come for me on this, and I'm letting it be known I am not supporting Brian McKnight's concert when he comes to DC. So, and it's about 387 people that seem to support that. I'm gonna let Micca jump right into it because I already know how I feel about Brian McKnight coming here. So I'm gonna let you say why you would support Brian. Why you
now see you tried it.
Well, not support him, but why you on Brian's side or have this partial perspective?
Okay. Because I see both sides. So I'm gonna play the video real quick. We're just gonna look at a couple of things and react to it a little bit, and then see what our thoughts are, especially mine, because I know you do. All right, so let's play this interview here.
This is an update. We talked about Brian McKnight a few days ago. He said some ridiculous things about his own children, called them evil, right? Well, looks like people are not going to his concert now. Let me remind you of his commentary. Here it is.
So lastly this week, I want to big up my man right here. See, he gets it. In order to live a life that you love, you have to get rid of the evil and the negativity, even if that evil and negativity is related. We want everyone to live a life.
What's your face? Why your face like that?
I understand his perspective on getting rid of the evil things, but to refer to your children as evil, they came from you. So what does that say about you if you can say your own children are evil? At some point, they were made of love. You don't have one child. You have 3 with this ex-wife of yours. So that means one time you had an evil child, then you went back and had another evil child, then you went back for the 3rd time and had another evil child. Apparently, they're not that evil if you kept making them. So my whole thing is I come from the community where what goes on in your house stays on in your house. And I just don't like the way people are using social media platforms to address issues that are happening in their family or in their house. And to me, for you to talk about your children that way on national TV, what does that say about you as a man and as a father, personally?
Okay.
And it may be another side to it that I don't know, but whatever side that I don't know, I probably don't need to know, because this is a man talking about his children on a platform that people are. Now, you want people to be in favor of your perspective of referring to your children as evil? No, those are your children. Keep it contained, handle your business in your house, and then we don't need to know. I just don't want to know about it.
Okay, I'm gonna play a little more of it.
Okay.
That you love our hashtag. That's what it means. Hashtag I love our life. But in order to do that, you have to get rid of all that evil and negativity. There's so many angry and upset and negative people out there. We want to use our platform as a place of positivity. So look, here's another somebody asking about my one and only daughter, Julia, asking about how she feels about a post about her graduation. Well, how do you think she feels? She feels great. See, Julia understands the scriptures. Exodus 20:12, where it says, and I quote, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. See, she honors us, and in turn we honor her because she knows how proud of her we are. And here's something, if you're going to leave snide comments, at least allow us to tag you when we reply. It's so cowardly.
I agree. All right. So, I agree with the tag it, because some of y'all will say whatever you want to say, and then I go and it's like, oh no, you can't tag. Oh, so you ain't want that smoke?
Nope.
Okay. So
I respect that perspective. That's the only thing I can get you in that conversation.
like, you gonna say
Other than
something
that.
about me, and I want to reply. Let me retort. So, you know.
Right.
But here's the thing. Okay. So I personally understand where he's coming from, right? He's coming from the perspective of two things, right? I love my kids. However, it's what some of y'all like to say, you know, when y'all get tired of y'all kids for just a little bit of stuff, F them kids.
Mm-hmm.
But to really be honest and truly, I think he's coming from it from a perspective of these kids don't respect his authority, don't respect what he's saying. He did another interview where he was talking about the children, you know, just being ungrateful. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you right now, the household I grew up in, ungratefulness will get you up out of there, you know. Okay. And I do, you know, I'm not religious, but I do agree that, you know, you should at least have a level of respect. You don't have to like your mother and father, right? Because they're human beings too, right? Mm-hmm. But you can respect the fact that, you know, they're the conduit that got you here. Correct. And you can respect, you know, their thoughts and opinions. And if you don't agree with them, you don't have to deal with them. But in his, you know, in Brian McKnight's regard, his children don't want to respect him, and they want his money. Mm-hmm. And so they have a sense of entitlement, right? Now, maybe, you know, he could say things a better way. Maybe he can do a better job at explaining or clarifying, being that he's going on a public platform. Because me personally, I don't think he has to explain anything when it's private, though. If you decide, and I say this to all people, when you decide to go on a public platform, you make it everybody else's business. Correct. Right? And so when you do that, then yes, you might have to clarify because now you've made it everybody else's business. So I agree that he could have said it better or came back and clarified, but sometimes people are like, I said what I said, right? Mm-hmm. And they know what they mean. Correct. And they don't care about what other people think because they know what's going on, right? And I have a little bit of insight because of the people I know. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like, you know, it's kind of what, you know, I've heard you say before, it's three sides to every story. So who's to say that Brian McKnight is not coming from a place where nobody knows what he's going through as a dad to adult children? These are not little kids, because I've heard some people speak about these children like they're babies. Mm-hmm. They're not babies. Like some of them are my age. Like, correct. Stop. Okay. So that's just part of my perspective.
Okay. So this is where things change. Like, you know, I look at it like this. Okay. So if the kids came out and they made a statement about their father publicly before Brian McKnight even made an issue about whatever, I think a lot of it came out after he had the second child or the second Brian with the new wife. Okay. Okay. The thing about this is, I don't know what the nationality of his new wife is, but one thing's for sure and two things for certain. He was Brian McKnight, the singer, songwriter, person, before he met this woman. Julia, this daughter he's speaking of, I love her name. Love it. I bet but the thing about it is she is not his biological child. So when he says, my only child, well, your only daughter, this is not your only daughter. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, you can dismiss your child that you had previously or whatever the case may be. There's no guarantee that this wife that you have now and them children are even going to be there for the long haul. So right now you're disowning what came from you. Not to mention you, like if they've came out and made a statement about their father and then Brian McKnight responded, even then it's a public, they've made it a public issue. That's when he can say, look, let's have a conversation. You are the older person. You're the father. Now, when me and my daughter have an issue, if I'm wrong, I'm going to guess what? Let me have a conversation with you because I'm wrong. That's what some parents are not being accountable. They assume because they're the parent and because they're the provider that they're the right all the time. No, you have your own trauma and stuff that you need to deal with too. Yeah. And a lot of people have trauma and then they think that their children are supposed to just accept their trauma and their negativity. Brian McKnight seems to be the problem because my thing is this. You go through all the lengths to change your name to be the baby's name so you don't have to, deal with the consequences of being attached to the first Brian. I'm just like, I'm not feeling that at all. And not only that, but why you just can't pull your children aside and just have a private conversation instead of making this thing public? Then when you make it public, so for instance, if he's not providing for these children that he's putting out his biological children, if he's not doing anything for them, all right, that means they probably have 9-to-5 jobs or they working day to day. My thing is now they got to still go to work and confront the fact that you've made these comments about them being evil and all these different things that he said, and he's messing it up for them. I don't like that because now you put your children in a position where you may make their work environment bad. You may mess up their money because hypothetically, if someone knows his daughter is related to him, they'll be like, damn, your father on TV talking like that about you? Well, okay. And so now you messing up their opportunities. So I look at it like this. Black people, all families, for all that matter, keep your family business in your household. We do not need to know about it. Brian McKnight has, put a target on his back because now people looking at him like he's this horrible father. His children look like ungrateful kids. And one day, 10 years from now, when Brian McKnight is sick and whatever, guess what? He gonna probably need those kids just as much as they need him. So for all that, the same way he says, honor thy mother and father. And that's something that I personally have done. But in order for me to honor my mother and father, my parents had to give me a reason to honor them. They don't just get honored because of whatever. You have to actually be a good parent in order for you to be honored and taken care of. You can't just expect for you to say I'm evil and think whatever.
Who's to say that he wasn't a good parent, right? Because he wasn't speaking from that. He went on the defensive after his son, right? His son made it public. Right. So now that it's public, you have no choice but to address it publicly. And who knows that he might have even tried to address it privately, right? But his son made it public. So you don't want to get just slandered in the media, right? Without having, it was a way to do it for his son too, because his son is not a little baby, right? So he knows right from wrong. He knows that his dad is a superstar. Right, okay. So any little thing you say, and you know this era we're growing up in, any little thing you say is going to, get exacerbated by the blogs and everything else. So he knew exactly what he was doing when he did it. So if you're going to blast your dad, I'm sorry, be prepared for the smoke.
But I think the
kid or no kid.
I mean, I feel like the blasting came after Brian McKnight had the second Brian, and everyone was like, oh, doesn't he already have a son named Brian McKnight Jr.? And so I guess he wanted to have that son change his name.
But what's the problem with having two Brians?
There's nothing wrong with it. But at this point, people were kind of coming at the first Brian, the second, the junior, and making it seem like you need to change your name so your father can have that, the new Brian McKnight, whatever, as the original Brian McKnight Jr. And so the boy, the son is like, I can't change my name because my son is named after me. So me changing.
But he doesn't have to look, because it sounds petty.
It's petty, but it's Brian McKnight,
and he doesn't have to change his name. But the son initially was being petty though when he went to social media, because you did not have to go to social media. Like, you can have a clear issue with your dad, right? Whether we agree about it or not, like the public.
Correct.
But you can have a clear issue with your dad. You know how many celebrity kids probably don't like their parents? Do you know? Nope.
No.
So why all of a sudden you just chose to jump on social media? To me, when you jump on social media, and I mean everybody,
Right.
you jump on social media, you're looking for attention.
Correct.
Like whether it's good attention or bad attention, you're looking for attention.
Right.
That's what social media is for, to bring attention and
Right.
awareness to whatever you're doing.
I don't know if he actually came out first and said it like that. I think that people keep adding him and it's like, are you going to address this? Are you going to address this? Are you going to address this? And eventually he's like, you know what? Let me address it. And I think that's what the son actually did, was because people are like, wait a minute, he already has a son, Brian McKnight Jr. So if this is trending that he's Brian McKnight now has that child, those
But
kids
you don't
only
have
came
to
out.
address it.
He did not have to address it, but it's like the same way Brian McKnight isn't addressing it. My thing is this: you have to set an example in order for you to lead an example. So if you want your son to do better than you, if you want your children to be better than you, actually put out an example that's better than that for them to actually live up to. My thing is this: clearly, if you're going online, you ain't no better than your kids, because you up here using the same platform to get your little message and your narrative out there. So in theory, if you kept this shit in the house, we would not be talking about it. Brian McKnight, if you wanted to have another child and name that child Brian McKnight, we didn't need to post.
But he didn't. But he didn't put it out and saying.
He did.
This is what I'm saying. He didn't put it out and say, "F my other son. I'm going to name this son Brian." He felt the public felt a way about seeing his post with the other child named Brian.
Correct.
So they went and being messy and went and said, "Hey, what you think about this? What you think?" You didn't have to address your father online, and
He
that
didn't.
and that's the thing I'm talking about, because at the end of the day, right? Then you come back and you ask your father, "Oh, can I have money for this? Can I have money for that?" Well, let's look at it now. We're talking about people not showing up to his concerts. What money is your daddy giving you now?
Hey,
I'm always thinking about the money. I'm gonna be like, look, daddy, I'm gonna call you and curse you out, but in public, that is my daddy. No,
all money ain't good money, and like you said, like
but there is something called a brand. I bet you that the Hilton family did not like how Paris Hilton was purporting herself when she had the sex tape and all this other stuff going. But I never heard them slam their child, and I never heard Paris do the opposite, because I remember when, they were talking about how, the family carries themselves and things like that, right? Because I was a kid when all those shows and, things were on. So I never heard vice versa. So at the end of the day, y'all know there's a legacy there, right? No matter how small or big, Brian McKnight has a name. He is a household name, right? You protect that legacy no matter what. Whatever you need to do, like behind the scenes, if you need to sue your dad, all that stuff could be carried out privately.
It can be. And I mean, I'm not...
You don't have to come to the public where we're going to sit up here and talk about it.
Yeah, no, neither person is right for addressing it publicly. Let me say that. But what I will say is this: if if I'm named after my father, if I was a man, I'm named after my father, and now my father has another son and he's named, I would feel some type of way, because here it is, you pretty much saying I wasn't good enough to carry out your legacy. Here it is, now my child is carrying on your legacy, and you're pretty much saying me and my son are nothing. Well, that's vile.
But if you're done with somebody, right? Right, because I'm gonna tell you like this. Even when you're, when you think about wives and husbands when they divorce, right? If I was a man, I'm sorry, girl, I want my name back. I want my name back.
That's your son.
What I'm saying is I want my name back, right?
Right.
Because there's a legacy attached to it, right?
Correct.
Okay, and up until, who was it? Well, matter of fact, if you look at these shows, Basketball Wives and all this other stuff, right? These women haven't been with these men in a long time, and they still use those names. Why? Because there's a legacy attached to it. Right. So what I'm saying is, even when it's not an intimate, well, your son is still an intimate relationship, but romantic. Even when it's not romantic, you still need to keep that legacy, because he's literally relying on it. He's like, oh, I need him to help invest in this. And well, you're relying on Brian McKnight's legacy. You got to make a choice.
Right,
If you
you
don't give a
can't-
damn, if you don't give a damn, we don't give a
Yeah, no,
right?
he can't go
Okay.
both ways. You can't. No. Brian McKnight Jr. First Brian McKnight Jr. You can't go back and forth. But what I will say is, like, when you've decided that you're not going to have anything to do with your parent, then you need to be able to cut that tie. But at the same time, Brian McKnight being the father, having those children, you had them out of love at some point, or else you would have made 2 more after Brian McKnight Jr. the first one.
Okay, so now you know, and this is before we switch the topic.
Mm-hmm.
You know that there are a lot of children that are made not.
We know that. We know that.
Right, so we don't know the situation that those children were made out of, and Brian McKnight is on the older side, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's on the older generation, so a lot of those generations, come from the you got her knocked up, go ahead and marry her. So you know what I mean? So,
but I mean, you did it 2 more times though, so I can't really give him any justification because
you know how
not only that.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have accountability, but I'm saying you know how they be. But we in the house,
right? But the one son said something interesting. Like, when I was younger, you had me throwing away your old condoms so my mother wouldn't be able to find them. You had situations where they said Tyrese was living underneath the pool table.
And if he did that,
so my thing is this, what if the real reason why these children are upset, the same way like Gary Owens said that his children won't have no parts with him because he cheated on his wife? Who's to say that these kids have not cut their ties with Brian McKnight because he treated their mother wrong? Because my thing is, your alliance is most people want to go with the alliance of the mother.
Because I agree. I agree with this point. No.
So if your father is cheating on your mother,
my father did.
Okay, so he just after cheating on
my father was in entertainment.
Okay,
right? my father was slut life.
Okay, so if he had you up here coming up with excuses so he can be a slut.
No, and I told you, that's what I just said. I said if he did that. No, that is wrong, because I don't think children should be involved in adult relationships either way, right? Whether you're a child or you're grown, right? Mm-hmm. And I've always told my mother, right, that the relationship I have with my father as my father and the relationship you have with him as a husband is 2 different things. Right. Don't involve me in that. Okay. Because I'm not married to him. That is not my man. Okay. That is my father. Okay. So I respect him on a different level than you and your romantic intimacy, right?
But if they involved you in it.
But they did. Okay. Right? Because my parents were young, right?
Right.
They were really young when they had me. So, one doing this, one doing that, and I'm little, right? But what I'm saying is, and I just have the tenacity to know how to separate stuff. But let's say somebody that doesn't, right? You can easily sway a child one way just because how you feel about that man or that woman. Right. Right? Which is, it's wrong.
It is wrong. Yeah.
Right? So, yes, no, I don't agree that mothers should be telling their children, when your daddy cheated on me, girl, that's your business. And you figure out a way to deal with that. That's that child's father, and that's always going to be their father. And I think a lot of the times, men and women don't realize that once you sully that in that child's eye, there's no going back, right? And then you know how women get sometimes, right? They make up with the man or this and this and that.
They go back and forth,
right? You know how it is with a friend. So imagine how it is with a child that's in the house.
But it's traumatic for a child to bear witness if you're young, under a certain age, and you bear witness your father is cheating on your mom.
That's why I said it's wrong if he's involved.
But it doesn't come up then. Sometimes those feelings and emotions don't come back until you're grown. So therefore,
that's why you should handle it privately.
But that's why they handle it privately. But at the same time, this is where Brian McKnight, as the older person, you should have taken the time then to address your children.
But how we know that he didn't? That's what I mean. It's too many. It's too many nuances. I don't know. I don't know if the child's telling. I don't know if the child's telling the truth. I don't know if Brian McKnight's telling the truth.
You can't be up here singing, doing Bible scriptures. You done had a whole wife, and now you got a whole new wife, and done had a whole sir. Like, if it was all like that, if you cared about the covenant of God, you would have still been with your first wife, and you wouldn't have cheated on her. So in theory, the woman that you're with now could very well leave you for a younger dude because she knows how much money you got. She already knew what she was getting into. She already knew the investment. Julia know that you was the money bag.
But so maybe
why wouldn't she be up there be pressed for a damn graduation car? I would be too.
Well, maybe
I would be too. So
maybe he got her to sign a prenup.
That nigga too green to have her sign
You know
a
what?
prenup.
I'm
The way he trying to tour,
move.
he trying to tour so he can take care of his new family. And if that's the case, if you're gonna leave a black woman and go be with a Filipino woman and take care of her Filipino kids and go out here and have another child,
but you don't know why.
By all means, I don't care why. You know why? Because this woman know you, Brian McKnight. She already know what you come with. Yeah. It ain't like she met you before you were Brian McKnight. So therefore, my thing is this: how you know she ain't for the bag?
She could be. She could be.
All
just
right.
like the woman that was before. Like
it could. She could have been too.
You can be that for potential, like because y'all. But
based on that,
y'all had that. Remember, y'all had that same argument with the NFL draftees, right? Y'all see the potential. Oh, he got the potential to make millions. I'm attach myself now. It's the same thing. But whether you start from the bottom or you start from the top, if you see that this man can make money, you okay. Come on, we women.
Okay,
we women.
But in theory, and I know we about to change it, but in theory, a lot of the black men that have been around for so long that are married to black women are still married to those black women. We have Ice Cube, Ice Cube, we got Denzel, we got Snoop. Now, granted, if they cheated or infidelity or whatever the case may be, they stay with them black women because LL Cool J.
But Denzel's wife is what? Silencion. Silent.
Huh?
Denzel's wife is silent.
Denzel's wife
is probably done. I mean, Denzel's probably done a lot.
Denzel's wife is an actress. She's also acted as well.
But she does not speak on any of her husband's discretion.
No.
So that's what I mean.
School.
That's what I mean.
Old school women know to keep it in the house. Old school women know how to keep it in the house. That's why you had grandmas back in the day. They had Clydes and so more.
That was my whole point.
Yeah,
but old school men as well, because there's a lot of old school women who had a bunch of children that wasn't that man's kid.
Oh, we need to change something. No time.
Go
about that.
So let's go on the
Look. I don't know about that. I got the same mama, same father as my two sisters, so we good. I don't know about that. I ain't getting into it because what people choose to do,
it's their business. It's their business. But I agree. Once you bring it on social media, it gets a little.
Brian McKnight, get your shit together. Get your house together before you trying to go on a tour. Get a PR person. Get Yvette Scholes, the person that take care of Beyonce. Get her as your PR person.
Hey,
get somebody.
Beyonce had a cheating scandal, and it was quiet.
Because she had Yvette on that. So my thing is this: at this point, Brian McKnight, if you want to do something good for the black community, you just going. I don't know what to do, but you might just need to go on Ayanna Van Zandt, Abby Phillips, somebody.
Ayanna said she done with y'all.
Yeah,
she done with y'all.
Go on CNN and talk about it. Get somebody else to do it because the DMV don't want no parts of it. Micca might come to your show, but I'm not.
Micca don't spend no money like that.
Well, you don't have to spend money to go on the show. I know you know people.
So let's move into Ice Cube. Ice Cube had originally made a statement. Well, he was doing rounds like the last election time frame, and he was saying, "Hey, okay, if y'all want to vote for a Democrat, that's fine, but you need to make sure that you tell them what you want and that they're actually going to do it and that they have to fight for the vote. And so why not go over to the other party and see what they have to offer as well, because that is how you get multiple people vying for your vote."
Correct.
So a lot of people gave him pushback. No, they racist, when they all racist. In both parties. Not all the people, but both parties they all in there.
Correct.
So Ice Cube, talked about it, and people, vote him off, called him all types of names, Well, now he's back because people now are seeing that, especially African Americans and Latinos, seeing that they were making a lot of money during certain eras. So I want to get into this interview here with Ice Cube on Fox.
I just want to say, I grew up a Democrat, and I've always been a Democrat. Until I met this man right here. I'll tell you what. He will not have to worry about nobody in my family ever vote for a Democrat again.
And that was New York Giants legendary and Pro Football Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor.
I'm going to go back in, but that earring that was dripping was sending me. But anywho.
Endorsing President Trump during his massive New Jersey rally over the weekend. Former Giants running back Otis Anderson also throwing his support to the former president. Trump hoping to gain ground with black voters. Rapper Lil Wayne praising Trump's work on criminal reform. While rapper Snoop Dogg said earlier this year he has, quote, nothing but love and respect for Trump.
Okay, y'all, I'm not going to stop it again, but who did this to 50?
Right, with the braids, man. I'm like...
Y'all could have picked an updated picture. The man has grown a lot. Put some respect on 50.
Rapper 50 Cent also suggesting Trump is maybe the answer after seeing New York City give prepaid credit cards to illegal migrants. Joining me now with some big news of his own is the founder of Big Three, award-winning rapper and actor Ice Cube. Also joining us is Big Three president and co-founder Jeff Quantinetz. Great to see you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it. Jeff Quantinetz, always a pleasure and an honor to see you. Cube, I want to kick things off with this historic Big Three news. But first, what did you make of this support for Trump over the weekend? And do you feel a shift going on in the African-American community? Celebrities and rappers turning their attention to Donald Trump?
I don't know. You know, I've been so engulfed in the Big Three. And so, you know, I just got off tour in Canada. So I'm a little out the loop. You know, people going to make a decision on who they want to be president. You know, I think it's a personal decision. I don't know if they care if any rappers or entertainers get up there and say anything. It's really a personal decision. People know who Trump is. People know who Biden is. They're going to make their decision no matter who gets up there and pushes whatever agenda they're on. So it's really, you know, the country knows both of these guys very well. So I just think it's going to just come down to a personal decision.
Jeff, any thoughts in your travels in terms of the community, the rapper community, supporting Trump?
Look, I think that people have realized that.
Are you sick of having issues with the weather?
We'll just cut it out.
Must have read my thoughts. It read my thoughts.
We'll cut it out. Okay, you're so silly.
Read my thoughts. I was like, I can't listen to this blasphemy.
Neither party really speaks for minorities, you know, maybe for the black audience. And it comes down to who they think will really help them on the issues that they care about. And I think it's underestimated how much people care about the economy. I mean, we all know people care about the economy and immigration, but I think people think the black community and the minority community is monolithic. Mm-hmm. They don't realize that people have a lot of different opinions.
Yeah. No, it's a great point. It's not monolithic, obviously. But let's get to your big news. A historic announcement for the Big Three League. You're selling your first franchise to DCB Sports in a $10 million deal. The team will play in the Los Angeles area. Cube, why this group? Tell me what the plans are for Big Three.
Well, this group is a great group of you know, different individuals coming together and you know, making, you know, great sports moves, you know, and making big moves. This is one of them. You know, they're invested in a lot of different other things too when it comes to sports. So Big Three is, you know, a great investment. I mean, there's nothing out there like us. If you look on the horizon, you know, everybody's talking pickleball and this and that.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, we're the ones who are gaining the most ground. And so, you know, it's a great investment for them. It's a great investment for us. We think Los Angeles, of course, is an amazing city, and it's a great city to start off with. But we're talking to groups out of Toronto. We're talking to groups out of London, Dallas. It's pretty exciting around the Big Three brand right now.
Okay, so this falls into a little bit of sports and politics. Mm-hmm. So let's go into the elephant in the room, the politics.
Okay.
All right. So Q is saying what he's saying and being politically correct. right? Because he has to protect his investments. So I understand that. But here's my thing. Here's my thing. He was absolutely right then, and he's absolutely right now. Right. Him and his business partner there.
Correct.
The thing is, I do think a lot of people, including other people of color, Latinos and Black Americans, they think that, everybody agrees on the same points. Everybody's lifestyle is the same. Everybody's the same. And it seems like everybody else is allowed to be, well, even in the Hispanic Latino community, because I'll speak to that. They're on the Republican side and the Democratic side, but in an overall sense, people think minorities are monolithic, especially Black people. And so they don't give them range. Right? And that's always been my problem, because I don't really care that you want to be a Democrat. I care that you only vote Democrat even when it's against your interests, right? And so, and then, you move, you move like, oh, okay, well, I don't like these policies here. I'm going to move to another state.
Correct.
But you take those same voting ethics with you, and then you get the same thing, like all the people that came from California to Texas. We already know Texas is a red state, right? You moved from California because you hated those policies with those liberal Democrats.
Correct.
And then you moved to Texas and you took the same policies. Do you think you're gonna get a different result? No. And you're gonna mess up that state.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is, if you have, which is still a mess, but if you have two choices, why not make people fight for your vote?
Correct.
Where you can try to get one or more out of the other. Why stay in this one area because of quote unquote loyalty to, honestly, when it comes to Black people, to a bill that technically didn't really benefit you. It benefited everybody else, and you got little crumbs on the floor.
Correct. So, okay, like for me, being a Democrat, and I listen to all these, like, I listen to Ice Cube, and you hear the Lil Waynes, and then you have the 50 Cents and the Amber Rose, and they also, Amber Rose switched up, and I mean, you have people that switched up, like the NFL player that said, I was a Democrat all my whatever, and now I'm a Republican who never wrote. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe your lifestyle allows for you to be a Republican. My thing is this. The issue that comes in hand is when you start shitting on other people because they don't believe in what you believe in. People do need to go with the research. They need to do the research for themselves.
Correct.
What makes sense for your lifestyle?
Correct.
Not because of this person's this race or this person is this
Correct.
or that, whatever. Go for what makes sense for your lifestyle, because I might vote for Biden for one thing in my lifestyle. You may vote for Trump for one thing in your lifestyle. Who am I to say what should be important to you and vice versa? So the thing is, respect people's political decision, because you do not know where people's positions are. The next part to that is, I wish there were more rappers that they can come out and make all these statements about these political statements, but politically, you might be in a position to actually make the change that you want to see. So instead of just being a figurehead and endorsing and slapping your name against somebody, how about you be that name to bring us out of whatever it is that you think that we're in? If you feel like we're all so stuck on this person's vote or the Democratic vote, why don't you, Ice Cube or whoever, why don't you go and be the representative of the Green Party or the Independents or something of that nature, if that's what you feel needs to be done? I'm not saying that he needs to go into politics, but see so many people.
But he did endorse that platinum plan.
He may. I don't. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know.
But he endorsed a platinum plan where it basically gave a plan that what Black Americans needed to be economically sound.
Exactly.
And he said, I'm going to take it to the Republicans and the Democrats. He took it to the Republicans, and that's when Trump spoke about it, right? Biden never spoke about it.
Okay. So Biden,
because he took it to Biden.
Okay, so we have Biden. You have a Biden situation, and I think back to Hillary, where Hillary thought that when she went into office, she was just going to get all Obama's vote just because she was Hillary. That's just not the case. That goes to the situation where they assume that they're going to get the vote, and that's just not the case. You got to actually do the work. So in theory, I don't support Trump for a couple of reasons, right? And these are my reasons. I don't care what anybody else's reasons for supporting him are.
Right.
These are my reasons. Trump has never came out and said the one thing I need him to say is like, he knows he has a lot of racist supporters, okay? Why hasn't he found a way to unify the racism that's going on in America? He's never done that to me. And that's where my gripe is, because on one end, I understand why people want to support him for the financial, economical growth, right? But
isn't that what everybody wants?
That's what everyone
Rich or
wants.
poor, you want
economical growth, right?
Correct.
But in the morning when I wake up and when I go to sleep at night, I'm a Black African American woman in America. And a lot of his supporters do not like people like me.
But when has the world been that civilized to where you can say I want to walk outside and somebody not like me? Because in Africa they look the same.
I'm not saying.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when
not
Trump got
get
into office, I experienced more racism than I ever experienced in my whole entire life. And that was because a lot of white racist supporters felt like they had an ally in the office. They felt like they were in a position to mistreat Black Americans. That's why you had so many protests going on when Trump went into office, because a lot of people wanted to go revolt against the injustices against women, the injustices against Black people. The unfortunate part is some Black people are more concerned with the amount of money in their bank account than the actual fact that they are Black. At the end of the day, when you get pulled over by a police officer, for instance, this stuff with Nicki Minaj going on right now, had she been a white woman, would she be enduring the same injustices right now? Maybe not.
Maybe or maybe not. Correct.
So race is the forefront. People say don't make it about race, right?
Because everything is about race.
Everything,
but there are some, and we talked about this before. There are some things that are about race.
So why doesn't Trump? If he's wants to do so much economically, why has he never said, like, look, I know it's a lot of white folks out here that don't like Black folk, but we need to unify.
But
why? Because my thing is, they don't even have a real reason as to why they don't like Black people.
But where do we live? Right, we live in DC, right?
Correct.
In the DC area, and it's very liberal.
Correct.
You do know that there are liberal people that don't like Black people.
Right. They tolerate us.
And they'll sit in your face and treat you just like a pet.
Correct.
That's patronizing. Okay. Right? So let's say there are, because I can agree that there's racism in both parties.
Correct.
I don't really care about it, because my whole sideline is what's going to be best on the policies for my family and people's families to come and things like that, right? I don't really give a damn what these politicians are saying, because they all are full of it, right? Because what sounds good on a sound bite, this and that, they're going to do. The thing that I want to know what's on that paper, right? When Kamala Harris had the chance to say, when the Griot asked her, a Black-owned organization said, hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for Black people? She sat back with her half Black self and said, I'm not doing anything special.
Correct.
With the whole bob.
With the whole
I'm not doing anything
press, yes.
for Black people, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then went right in and did a special thing for Asians.
Asians, yeah.
Why? Because she identifies as an Asian, and she is, mind you, she did not get elected as the first Black woman.
No,
she got elected as the first. No, she got elected in Congress. Congress as the first Asian American. Not the first Black. So that tells you what she identifies with. And it makes sense because she grew up with her mother, right? Okay. So what I'm saying is people go where they identify.
Correct.
They play this game of the switcheroo, and I say this all the time, being a mixed race person, they play this game of the switcheroo where they will hold up the mixed race person for color. But you're not looking at where they identify in their ideologies. Right?
From the perspective.
Right.
Yes, so.
Where they grew up, like that stuff matters.
Correct.
What parent they grew up with. That's how you identify.
Okay. So
why couldn't she do that then?
I can respect where you're coming from on that, and I don't disagree. But for me, I don't feel like Trump's stuff has helped me personally. And
well, Kamala already told you she ain't helping you.
I don't feel like
She said she's not helping you.
No, I mean,
and you ain't seen her all year.
Kamala may not. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that silk press been going bang, bang, bang. But I will say this, like, you know, with the whole tuition, the student loan tuition,
Right.
I'm one of probably like the very few people that probably can honestly say, well, Biden just forgave me of all my student loans. You know what I'm saying? But that was because of my particular school that I had went to. So guess what? My student loans is gone. Why? Because of Biden administration. And so I can't just
But now
ignore
you're
that.
talking about something that benefited you, right?
That benefited me.
Right. So that's what everybody
wants something that benefits. So therefore, some people will vote for Trump because it benefits them. And whoever wins, whatever party that's going to benefit the most, they'll vote for who they want to win, and that person will win. But I will always say, do your own research.
Yes.
Because I might say Biden benefits me in some degree. Okay. Trump may not. I might have my racial perspective on the fact that he has never made a statement on why.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before we switch. Let me ask you this before we switch. Outside of your student loans, what does Biden do that will benefit you outside of your student loans? And what? And for the life of me, please tell me what Kamala does.
I mean, in theory,
I'm still trying to figure this out.
I can't even say.
I want to get that check.
To be quite honest with you, the same way I can't really say what Joe has done. I can't say what Trump did. I can't say what Trump did for me. That's the part why.
But you're not voting for Trump. So I'm fine with that.
If I wanted to even consider Trump, I can't say I can. After his first term, right?
Yeah.
I didn't benefit from none of that. I didn't benefit from his term. So I would be crazy to vote for someone that I did not benefit from. Not only that, but a person that has also given racists empowerment. I can't do that. That does not sit well within my spirit to do that. But if you choose to, that is on you, because you have to do what's best for your lifestyle. That just is not cohesive with my lifestyle.
I'm gonna say,
and I will say more. It needs to be more people in positions. Like, it's too many Black people that are celebrities and in certain positions. That, for instance, Charlamagne the God, he said, "I'm not endorsing anybody," which I respected. And they were like, "Why won't you? This is the year you're supposed to endorse somebody." Charlamagne stood on business.
He said he thought both of them was trash.
Exactly.
But they don't want him to say that.
They don't want him to say that, but his opinion is what his opinion is. Are they both trash?
But are they
both
though
trash?
I don't think
so. Do you really think Trump is he may be the better of the candidate.
I don't care
but
about.
If he wasn't the option,
I'll say this to end it. I don't care about him personally, right? Because what none of these people do, honestly, personally, whether they're a celebrity, whether they're a politician, like it's not helping me. I want to know what you're planning to put on that damn paper, because what you say, what you do, all that other stuff is not going to help me.
Correct.
What did you write on that paper?
Right.
And to me, when a candidate tells me, no, I'm not going to do nothing. You ain't got my vote.
Right.
You don't have my vote.
What's your agenda?
You don't have my right. So yeah, everybody's human. They're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Right.
Whether they're racist, whether they want to do something for their own people, yada yada yada. But I want to know what you're actually going to put on that paper. What that paper is actually going to say, and that is what gets my vote. Because all that other stuff ain't got nothing to do with me. Because at the end of the day, you can get around, people not liking you, people wanting to be racist, because you're not going to change that.
Correct.
That is, especially in America.
Right.
You're not going to change that. That's why I don't focus on it. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I don't focus on it.
Correct.
But yeah, I just think you do need to be non-monolithic. That's it.
I mean, I'm not saying that you don't. I just think that at the same time, why hasn't he made a statement and just said, like, nah, we're like, if you can have people go and storm the Capitol, it's no excuse for you to not try to figure out a way to make a conversation about, like, look, we all want the same. We might be Black, we might be white, but we all want the same thing, and that's green. That's it.
Well, child,
that's it.
I agree with you there. So we're gonna pivot real quick into the diddler. The diddler. We already had a conversation, and y'all can go back and watch it. I told y'all that man was. But so Diddy, we already saw the video of him doing whatever with Cassie, but now Cassie has come out and responded. So we're just gonna react to that really quick.
Give us some context on what we're about to see. Yes, Jake, this is incredibly disturbing footage, so I do want to warn our viewers, as you did. But as you said, Cassie's lawsuit, which was filed in November of 2023 and then was quickly settled overnight, it did open the floodgates. But in that complaint, Jake, she details an incident that she alleged happened in March of 2016 at a hotel in Los Angeles. She claimed in her lawsuit that she was physically assaulted by Diddy. Now our team in the LA Bureau, we have got our hands on that surveillance footage, and it appears to corroborate Cassie's claims identically. Really, Jake, the lawsuit lines up with exactly what we are seeing. So let's take a look. New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video captured on multiple cameras.
So we seen this. This video is a mess, right? And the fact that that man ran out there in a towel, Cassie, I understand we're small, little, teeny, tiny women, but girl,
First and foremost, you ain't that tiny. You short, but you ain't that tiny.
That man, that man, give him the Tina Turner treatment.
Girl, why they said, I hope that when they opened the doors, Shalon should have been on the elevator. I said, you know what? You know what?
And Salon, a skinny woman.
Small,
yeah. I'm 4'11", but you close enough to something.
I'm gonna tell you this now. That towel, the towel would have been gone. Like, let me tell you this now, and I know people.
We'd have been fighting.
First I'll say this. Before we even dive into this, I know that it's a lot of sensitivity around this topic due to people experiencing domestic violence, and I would be remiss to not address that, because like no person should have to deal with domestic violence. It is not a joke.
Yeah.
People are in certain circumstances in which they cannot defend themselves, or they've been doing it for so long that they become defenseless.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to come off as like a person insensitive to that at all before we go into it.
I'm definitely not
I wanted to make the disclaimer.
Yeah, I'm definitely not insensitive to it, but I'm going to tell you right now. I can't, look, I'm just going to keep real. I can't let no man just sit there and kick me. Like, look, like I said, that Tina Turner part of the movie where they both walk into the joint and they all bloody, and they like, y'all need a doctor. We don't need no damn doctor with the elevator at. Because he would have been just as bloody as me, because you either fight or flight, right? But I gotta fight back. Like, I can't let somebody, and I understand that everybody's not the same.
Correct.
But oh my God, the way she laid there, it was like possum. Like, I'm gonna just lay here and hope he don't kick no more. Oh no. You know that man. You know that man. And then he picked her up and dragged her. No, I'm not gonna I'm gonna be sucking. Here, zigzag, because I wanna be able to at least give myself a chance. And the way, and in the video, he throwing vases and all that. Oh, I can throw vases too.
Girl.
No,
let me tell you.
We gotta do something, and then I would have removed myself. But I want to get into the second part. Cassie saying, get out of here with that apology.
The entire internet is saying, in fact, Cassie's own lawyer and husband have reacted to the apology video. And many people who tried to give Diddy the benefit of the doubt without seeing any evidence are now changing their tune. In fact, the city of New York is even going to retract the key to the city. We got all the reactions here.
So what do you think about that?
Okay, so I know I was one of them people, like in our first video, and we go back and say some stuff, because I was like, did he, allegedly, just saying allegedly, he did it, and he's dead ass wrong for what he did. And at this point, he does need to be stripped of that, because it's an honor to have the key to the city. Like, my thing is this, I don't even want you to have the key to my apartment, let alone the city. So, Diddy is wrong. My thing is this, him being a father of not one daughter, but 4 daughters. If Diddy ever seen a man do that to any of his daughters, let's just be real. Those men would be 6 feet deep. We wouldn't even have a trace. They might even be 6 feet. Their body would be scattered somewhere in the Hudson River somewhere, because Diddy would have ended them.
Correct.
So my thing is this, don't do unto others as you don't want to unto yourself. So had that been me in this Diddy video, I'm going to tell you this now, Diddy, I would have fought your ass like a motherfucking nigga. I would have, like nigga, I would have put the Vaseline on. First and foremost, you might not even came out that bathroom, because every time I think about, I think it's maybe this Christmas or whatever, where Regina King beat the crap out of Lost or Lance because he was cheating. She let him go in the shower and then put the baby on the floor, and then she started whooping him with the belt. That's the type of treatment Diddy needs to get right now. Somebody needs to whoop Diddy's ass because he had no business doing that to Cassie. Cassie, that is foul. Like you beat her like a rag doll. And so then with the apology comes the apology, right? I don't want to hear anything that you have to say, Diddy. This is where your PR person was wrong. No statements needed to be made. Nothing needed to be said because the evidence speaks for itself. At this point, this was in 2016, 18, however, she already let a lot of time go by. So at this point, you just need to lay in the bed that you made for yourself. Your daughters should not have to bear witness this. So your apology, the only apology you owe to anybody was your children.
What did you think about? What did you think about this right here?
Mm-hmm.
This is the mayor, Eric Adams, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So this is him.
Weekend with P. Diddy. What are you thinking about possibly rescinding the honor that you gave him last year when you presented him with the key to the city?
I think all of us were deeply disturbed by watching that chilling video of the young lady being assaulted by him, and the committee and the team. We've never rescinded a key before, but we are now sitting down to see what the next steps forward are going to be.
So what did you think of that?
They have to, because if you don't, it's almost like you're condoning his bad behavior. And nobody wants to be behind. Like, people have daughters. That's the one thing. Everyone has a daughter, granddaughter, niece, aunt, mother, somewhere. You have a woman in your life that you value, you respect, and you would not want to go through that. So if you're going to respect the women in your life, you have no other choice but to take that honor away from him. Diddy knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. Yeah. And that's the reason why it is so chilling, because he's aware. And so if he was going to come back and do an apology, he said, I was in a dark space. I was this and I was that. And people have made jokes on it and stuff like that. The only thing about that is if you've gotten counseling, if you've gone to therapy and you've gotten the help that you need, I want the receipts. I want the receipts. I want you. Okay. I want you to go on Robin Roberts, Gayle King, somebody with your therapist, and I want them to tell us. I want them to tell us that yes. And starting in 2019, Diddy started coming to us because he was trying to deal with whatever. And I think what's her name? Cassie was able to kind of get away from Diddy because the stuff with Kim Porter happened, which that's another rabbit hole that's going to be opening. And I'm not even going to touch on it because if Kim lost her life to whatever, I'm trying to stay alive for my child and stuff like that. So I ain't going to even touch on it. But she was able to kind of get away during that period when you really think about it, because they broke up, quote unquote, right before Kim's death. And then Kim died. And then there was a time where Diddy and Cassie linked up afterwards. And then, the whole next year, Cassie's married with a new dude. So, the one thing people are trying to figure out is how was Cassie able to even get away? Because he's already shown that he will do blow up cars and do this and do that. How was it that Cassie was able, out of all of them, to actually get away with it and get married, have children, and continue her life before the lawsuit?
Here's the thing, I'll say this in a segment here. Mm-hmm. It's a couple of things. Mm-hmm. Cassie, let's say this. Cassie is a victim, right? Nobody should have any of that done to them. Here's where I think the conversation needs to expand, and y'all can take this and talk about it in the comments or drag me, whatever you want to do. Here's the thing. In the entertainment world, people do a lot of things for some change, right? Without understanding what comes with it, right? And we all know she was with Ryan Leslie before, right? And, it's in us women to be hypergamous. You see, this man is on upward mobility. Let me just jump over here, right? But you didn't research what that man was about. Talk to those women that he got around him. What is he actually like, right? And then you even have the thing where she saw Kim Porter be abused, right? So what does that make her? You get what I'm saying? Oh, it's not going to happen to me, right? So what in that are you also responsible for, right? So I always like to look at both sides, because duality always exists. You can be a victim and you can be a accomplice to things. Okay. Right? And I'm not blaming her for things that Diddy did, but she was there when a lot of that stuff went down with Kim Porter.
Right.
And she didn't care. So now we need to care about you, right?
A victim is a victim.
No, a victim is a victim. However, if you're gonna play that game, right? R. Kelly was a victim of being, and this is facts. R. Kelly was molested.
Yeah.
By women.
Yeah.
Right? But he also victimized other people.
Right.
That's also fact.
Correct.
So he deserves to be where he is. But you don't have no compassion for the fact that he was a victim as well. But we have a compassion for the fact that we saw this woman being victimized on tape. But she also allowed another woman to be victimized.
That's the part where
that
people
is where I'm like,
that's the thin line.
Where do women draw that line?
The thin line between love and hate, in a sense. But I mean, I look at it like this. Cassie, I will say this: she watched a woman be victim because she was a victim to it as well. You don't know what her upbringing was to even be able to be in a position where she attracts a man like that can manipulate and do those things. So you have people.
I'm just saying we don't have
that.
We don't have that across the board.
She was so young that she was groomed to be able to tolerate it because of the financial aspect of it all. So is it right? No, it's not right. But at the same time, she was a victim, and Diddy may have been a victim. It may be some things about Diddy's dark past that we don't know about, but that's why if he had a therapist, or if he's really getting the help, he needs to touch on why do you think it's okay to beat a woman? And from what the bodyguard said, they said that he's been rude to his own mother. So that means he must have saw someone be rude to his own mother. So in which case, Diddy may be a victim of his own childhood trauma and reliving it and, putting it on women. In which case, if that is the case, plead mental health. Don't make no statements. Just go get the help that you need. Do not go with Russell Simmons. By all goodness, do not go with Russell Simmons. Go with someone that is a trained person that can help you do the deep, dark searching within your spirit and your soul to get you right.
I just think
but you're done when it comes to your career.
Oh, no, the man is done. The man is done.
There's
done. No excuse.
You just gotta get your
There's no excuse for what he did to Cassie. But I just like to always bring up what people don't like to talk about, right? Because if we're gonna sit here as women and protect other women.
Right.
Are we only protecting other women when we like that woman or when that woman is more visible? Because nobody cared about what Kim Porter was going through and Cassie was there.
My only concern at this point in time, and I mean, Cassie got her lawsuit.
Cassie got her money. Cassie got all of that, but
the
Kim
other
Porter
victims
is gone.
Exactly, the other victims that won't get that same justice,
and she has daughters.
And that's where I was going. And so now I feel most bad for his daughters that have to. Like they're in their teenagers.
Their mom is gone. They know Cassie was there with her,
right,
doing a lot of her abuse, and now their daddy is gone.
Their daddy.
So that's all I'm saying. As a woman, I look at all aspects. Where are we accountable, and what did we do? What do we do in a situation? What do we do to other women? And then where we also get victimized, right?
But like Misa, she came out and said, "Show grace." So that means she went through something with her. I
get
it, but
you want to give people grace.
Is personal. That's a personal decision. You can't tell somebody else to give someone else grace.
No,
that's
but
God.
But you want to give grace because grace helps lead to forgiveness. That's all.
It does, but it's not for someone in that position. Like if you choose to give grace to someone, that's your decision.
Yeah, but when you hang on to it, it doesn't do anything but affect you.
Right, but
it's not going to affect Diddy.
But the difference is between us is Misa has known of all Diddy stuff way before this video came out. She been known about whatever. We're just finding this out. So therefore, the people in the public have a right to react and feel however they choose to feel. Yeah. When we want to give him grace, that is when we'll choose to give him grace. But in the meantime, if you've chosen to give him grace, that's great for you. But now society, my thing is this, we have to determine that. And Diddy decided, and my thing is the only people that are suffering the most right now are the two daughters. Because the other ones, they have their moms. Their moms are alive. So therefore, Chance and the little baby, they got their mother. It's the two in the middle. And I'm like, they have to now go through high school where all their friends are very aware of what's going on. And they still have to go and finish out high school knowing the stuff that's going against their father. He didn't just make Cassie a victim. He made his own children a victim to his decisions.
Look.
And that's it.
I'm going to end it right here by saying this. parents, your children will pay for the sins of the father. And I'm not just talking about the male. It means your children will pay for whatever you as parents decide to do. So just remember that before you go out and do your stuff, diddler. And with that, we're going to end it right here. Thank y'all for watching the Red Cup Podcast. Please like, subscribe. Go ahead and comment because I know y'all going to say whatever y'all going to say. Drag.
Okay, Mom.
Give us positivity. All of that. Peace out.